Consulat, or Consulate, I guess, in English, is the association of 7 photographers, some in commercial photography, some in editorial, fashion, food photography, lifestyle, that decided to bring their energies together, to have their own producers, their own studios, and to get rid of the structure of having an agent. We knew each other's work and we all had a lot of respect for each other. So you can see other of my partners. Here's Maxime. Maxime is mainly a fashion photographer. Guillaume is an artist, mainly an artist, but also doing a lot of lifestyle. You see a lot of photography in the city that's being done by photographers here. The Pop Montreal tour, I always say yes to things like that. You're making their day different, you know, they get an insider look on what's going on in the Myland at this address. I was born in Venezuela, and my parents are Colombian, and I grew up in the countryside of Montreal. When I was in school, I was really influenced by all the photography that I could see around me. And at the time, like cultural newspapers and magazines were everywhere in the city. And at the time, the music scene was getting really popular in Montreal. And a lot of the international press was giving importance to Montreal because of bands like Arcade Fire. And just before that, the Deers. It was just a wave that was going through Montreal, and it brought me in it with my photography. I became part of that scene, you know, like being a photographer that did a lot of artists and started to work also with international magazines where they needed images of artists here. So after a few years, artists started to know who I was and to know my images. So I was very, very lucky to have a good reputation within that milieu. So since then, you know, artists that come to me for photos really trust me. I'm trying to reach out to bands that I like that come through Montreal, and we shoot a very, very short session with them. So usually it's backstage or on their tour bus, or like we did Grimes lately just before the Lana Del Rey show, and it was in the underground parking of the Bell Center. So it's always like I have to improvise with the spots where I'm meeting them. So yesterday I met with Future Island in the backstage of Osheaga. Future Island is an American band. They're getting quite famous right now, and they were one of the main acts. Like to be honest, like this looks like a studio shot, but the background is actually the toilets of the backstage. I don't really guide them. Like the best example is the last shot I did of Sam. It's probably the best. It's the last shot that I shot of him. He just went like, I always look really mad on pictures, so I'm just gonna give you one of those. And since shooting bands or artists like that are usually like 15 minutes, you really have to know what you're doing. Just went, okay, this is the shot, and I literally didn't shoot anything else after that. That was it, you know? Yeah.
Also the light is great.
No, it's great. I'm really happy. We just hold it here. You have to push on it. Today we're gonna shoot with Kandle. Kandle is a musician, and she's originally from BC. She moved to Montreal a few years ago. We met through videos and through fashion shoots that we did together. She just needs press shots with her band. It's gonna be a short and sweet shoot with them today. So j'aime beaucoup ça. I really like that. That's exactly what we're gonna get. I think this is a great inspiration. Music photography is really interesting because I'm trying to answer to something that already exists and to be part of music history while trying to find a new way of making this this imagery. I know that Kandle likes 60s culture, and I like Velvet Underground, and they were a band with a girl just like her. So it was really my main inspiration, but then the photo is a mix of who I am, mix of who they are, and the inspiration that we have. How are you? Good morning. How are you? I'm good. Toi? Laetitia is going to take care of your hair. Brigitte, tu la connais? C'est que du maquillage.
I wanted to look like Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Because I thought of it this morning. I have this like pink rabbit suit.
No.
And I wanted to do a joke, but I was just
Bram
lazy.
Stoker's Dracula, not pink bunny suit.
They don't fit me anymore, so I gave them to Kandle.
Oh, that's so nice of you.
Yeah. Saying what kind of photographer I am is also talk about who I am. And the leather jacket is cool. When I do shootings with people, I never speak very loudly, so I don't put on a show. I'm really sensitive to people's energy, making sure that they are comfortable, that they feel that they're in good hands.
Is it going to be from the waist up like that?
I think so.
Awesome. So I can wear my flip-flops.
You can be naked. And I think that like when you start a shooting, you never know where you're going. You're like, okay, is this going to happen? And you have like now we have an inspiration for Velvet Underground. It could be like completely different. So what did you want exactly, Sam?
What did I want exactly?
Yeah.
With my hair?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just noticed that everyone had their hair slicked back, so I thought maybe we'd go more Jesus and Mary chain. Like I could go high.
Oh yeah, okay. But you have to be open to make it different if it brings you there. Let's go, guys. Let's try a shot just to see how it looks. I'll put it on the computer. So let's see how you guys are gonna place yourself organically. And fais juste monter ta fly, David. Okay.
Do we look like a band?
I think you just look like a band. Yeah, nice reflections on this dress. I really just try to let them be what they are in that moment. Actually, Sam, that was good. Like to be just looking over your shoulder. So I'm not trying to guide them into a specific state of mind. And at the end of the shoot, I have the feeling that I've been like a yoga teacher. Because all I tell them is like breathe. Respire, David, respire. You know, relax your shoulders. You know, put your spine straight. Come straight. Things like that. So it's really just to be self-conscious of their body and the tensions and be like, just abandon themselves in that moment. Yeah, like you look stoned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Sometimes I feel that I'm too much in control and I just want to find that special shot that I can't reproduce, you know? Because sometimes you can have 100 images that look the same. The differences between each of the images is so small, but we're trying to find the one that will look the best.
Yeah, dude. In excess. Yeah, totally.
That's Brian Adams. This is gonna sell a lot of albums.
Yeah, of course. That's cool.
Look at the camera, Sam. Yeah. Chin down.
Everything he does ends up looking amazing, and you just trust him and whatever he does.
That's kind of cool.
I think a big part of it is confidence. You know, if you're shooting with a photographer, it's like, oh, I don't know, and they're not focused on how the people actually look. They're just focused on the lighting.
But you were touching, so let's do this again and get the right stuff.
To make a photo work with a band, especially, like there's a lot of components to it, and everyone has to like the way they look, and everything has to be flattering.
Some like toothpicks to hold my eyes open.
Look at that. It's like
Is everyone like that?
just you.
I just gotta. I'll do one like this, a couple like this.
John notices every little detail and makes sure that it works and makes sure everyone's happy. It's kind of funny when you look so good that people are like, is that even you? Hey, yeah, thanks a lot. He makes sure every shot is perfect and he won't settle for less than perfect.
For me, it's more creative and friendship and being part of that scene than really just doing this for a living. For a living, I do like DOP, I do commercial work. A great photography is the one that creates an emotion and that you have the feeling that you can't reproduce this. I would like people to see anything but the actual photograph or the actual making of that photograph. If this image can transport you elsewhere than in this studio or in that time frame, then I think my work is good, you know.